Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing the AT-T Walker. This set was released in 2022 with set number 75337. This set has 1,082 pieces with the age rating of 9 and up, with 5 minifigures and 3 battle droids. Taking a look at the back of the box, you can see Commander Cody stepping out of the AT-TE. You can see the carrying handle and tons of other small details in the set, including the spider droid. Let's get into the set review. First up, we have Commander Cody, and Commander Cody has very good printing all around him, which I very much enjoy for this minifigure. Here's a side look at the minifigure, and you can see the ugly pauldron piece on the head. Sorry, the ugly visor piece. This is the same one they used in 2008, and they continue to still use it to this day, which is really sad to see. On his back print, you can see a jetpack mold, a print, which is not supposed to be print. It should be a mold to the minifigure, but LEGO went the cheap way and did not make it a mold. They made it a print, which is sad. I believe all other details are correct on this minifigure. We can lift it up to see different printing on the head, and it's the same one from the 2023 Battle Pack minifigure. And if we remove his helmet, underneath we can see a custom face for Commander Cody, and it's just one-sided and it's very simple. It's just him with a different smirk. Let's go on to the next minifigure. Next up, we have the 212th Clone Trooper. There are 3 of these in the set, 2 of which had the longer blaster rifles, while this one has a shorter one. He has very good printing all around with a few different details. There's 2 major flaws with this minifigure to start with. One is the body armor printing. It is a mix of the normal Phase 1 and 2 Clone Troopers along with the Clone Wars Clone Troopers, so LEGO can make an easy way out to never ever change the new Clone Trooper printing for the torso. And then the biggest problem with this minifigure is its helmet printing. The helmet printing should have a single point on the head with the orange printing, but it does not. I'll show you what it should look like. Here we have the one from 2014, and you can see the clearly difference in the printing for both of the Clone Troopers. We'll start with the head print. The head print on mine is a little misprinted, but you can see there's one solid point for the minifigure. I'll tell you why there was a misprint in the new one in a second, but first we'll go to the torso. The torso has completely different printing. The one on the right is more inclusive to the Episode 3, and while the one on the left is more inclusive to both, and a mix of both. And personally, I do prefer the orange arms, and I do prefer the white and printed waist piece. Now we can go on to why this trooper was misprinted. I took in the 501st Trooper to see the different printing, and if you look at them, they are very similar on the top, and if we just put them heads down and look at the black line, it is a very similar printing, and I'll go to another minifigure to show. Instead of doing that, I'll just explain why. All I think they did is went into their design software and smudged it in slightly, which you can tell because the lines are not as even on the ones on the 501st Clone Trooper. Besides the 2 glaring issues, there's only one small more issue that I personally don't care about, that other people do, and it is the helmet hole on the side of the helmet. Every other Clone Trooper has had it for years, and all the Mandalorians have had them for their helmets too, so I don't see the big issue. Each figure has the same head print and the same back printing. Now let's get on to the last few figures of the set. Next up for the minifigures, we have the 212th Clone Gunner, which is really just a Clone Gunner. There's no need to put the signification to it. Sorry, I can't pronounce that word very well, but there was no need to do that because it shows no resignation to the clone unit. Otherwise, this is the closest Clone Trooper we've ever gotten to a plain Phase 2 Clone Trooper, not counting the one from 2014. I'm talking about a modern one. This is very close, and close as we'll probably ever get in recent and close on years. It has very good printing all around this figure. There's nothing really bad to say about it, except if you don't like the helmet holes, which I personally do. I think they're nice to have on Clone Troopers, and it has the same face print. Last up for the minifigure selection, we have 3 regular battle droids, which are a huge addition. Sorry, not a huge addition, a small addition to your battle droid army that you could have gotten more from the 501st Battle Pack, and including more sets from there on. Next up, we have a spider droid, and the spider droid is very simple. Luckily, it does not have a stud shooter, but the biggest problem with this is that it shouldn't be a spider droid, it should be a crab droid, which crab droid is much more accurate to seeing because it's supposed to represent Utapau, which there's no spider droids on Utapau, but there was many crab droids on Utapau. Overall though, this is still a very decent model. It's very easy to replicate. If you have these parts are probably the hardest ones to get. Other than that, the legs for the torsos for the droid parts are probably the hardest parts to get for this if you want to replicate it. But this still would not be that difficult to replicate, and you could easily make it into a tan color. I don't know how you could get tan clips. That might be an issue, but still, overall, it's not a bad build, and it's a nice addition to the set either way. Okay, here we have the ATTE in all its glory. Let me turn it to its side. The set is a beautiful representation of the ATTE from the Clone Wars and Episode 3 and Episode 2. The walker has 6 legs with 6 different turrets, not including the lawn cannon, which there's the lawn cannon, and there is also 2 stud shooters on said cannon, and you can place 1 minifigure on there with detailing for a control panel. Next, there's a carrying handle, which you can just pick up and carry up the set. It is a little front heavy, but it is still a very well and functioning handle, which is what is important for the set. Next, we can take a look at the back and see 2 of the turrets, and you can see that there's no ugly stud holes or Technic pinholes anywhere to be seen on the back, which is definitely different in older models. The only Technic holes to be seen are ones that are uncovered here and the bottom there, which are harder to see in camera, and 2 here for each of the legs, but there's none on the middle leg, which I wish they could have tiled that off, but still, that's just minor details that are not that bad. Next, let's take a look at the interior of the set. First, what we can do is take this, and there's 2 little studs, one here and one on the other side. If you pull on them, you can pull it out to reveal a seat with 2 levers. You can pull one of your clone troopers out, and you can put them in and push them in like this. It's a little bit hard to push in. You do need 2 hands to do so. Here you can see him inside of the ship, inside of this rocker, and it does look very good while he's inside of the set. Next, we can place a clone gunner on top to man the cannon, and we just put him in like this, and there he is manning the cannon. He looks very good in there. Next, we can go to the front interior, but first we do have to take the clone gunner off. All you have to do is lift up on the cannon and pull out 2 side panels. Here's a look at that interior. You can see 2 different boxes or 2 different things that have these pieces on them, and there's the seats. I'll get into those each separately. On the first one, it holds 2 thermal detonators. The second one is a crate with white binoculars inside of them. And lastly is the 2 seats, which all you have to do is pull up like this and pull them out, and you can fit 2 minifigures on there. Here's the 2 minifigures on, and we can lift them up by their helmets and place them in. It takes a little second to put them in, but you can put them in and close them all back up very seamlessly, and you can barely tell they're in there, except there's a small few cracks. The biggest one is here, which is, again, very small. You really have to peek inside, but at a lower angle, you can see in, so I do recommend keeping these at a lower shelf to see the full mass of the set. Next, we can swivel back to the back again, and we can pull down on this and lift up here, pull these 2 out to see a huge interior for the back with 2 clips and 5 different seats, including a control panel, a cup, and a fire extinguisher. You can put Commander Cody in one of the 5 seats, and you can take out the clips to put 2 of the 5 weapons are included in the set on. However, when you're putting the weapons on there, you cannot put on the large rifles. I think there might be a small way to do it, but it's very difficult to do so, and it doesn't close properly. In this set, there are 4 extra seats for minifigures. You can put, if you buy another one of these sets, you can use the 4 clone troopers and put them in and have Commander Cody off to the side, and you don't have anything to man the other one, but you can at least fill one entirely. Again, to close it up, all you have to do is push on all the panels and close them in like that. I'm going to bring in a different model of the set. Well, it's the same model of the set, but it is a different wave of printing and construction of the set, let's say. Production, sorry. You can see different textures in the sticker detailing. The sticker detailing is darker here, and it's much more faded here. You can definitely tell on the top, because here it blends in a lot more, and here it is a lot darker and doesn't blend in as much to the set. That's just one more thing I wanted to note before closing out this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again soon, and good